So you want to own a dog kennel. Buy a building, fill it with dogs, watch the money roll in. 70% of American households own a pet. The pet economy is worth over $140 billion a year, and the good boarding places near you are booked out months in advance. Here is the strange part. This might be the only business on earth where demand keeps climbing. The rooms stay full, and the owner still cannot scale their way to wealth. Where the more customers you take in, the more you have to spend, forever. Because the one thing a kennel sells, a safe day for a living animal, needs a human being for every handful of them. By the end of this video, you will know exactly why that is true, what a kennel actually costs to open, and the one number that decides whether an owner takes home $50,000 or $500,000 from the very same building. The buy-in. Start with what you are actually buying, because most people buy the wrong thing. A dog kennel is a physical facility, and getting one runs a huge range. A small home-based operation can start for $5,000 to $20,000. A proper small commercial facility runs $50,000 to $150,000. A large or premium build can run $150,000 to $350,000 and up. Most owners lease or rent the building because buying one outright is expensive. Then you fill it out. Indoor and outdoor play areas, sleeping areas, and individual kennels at roughly $1,000 each. Serious drainage and washable flooring, because this place gets messy every single day. Climate control, a reception area, storage, and fencing tall enough and strong enough to hold a determined dog. You need a location zoned for it, away from neighbors who will complain about barking and smell, and you need a cash buffer to survive the first year while your calendar fills. So the tiers look like this: the spare room and backyard operation, cheap and tiny; the real commercial kennel, built out with proper play areas and drainage; and the luxury pet resort, with climate-controlled suites and webcams, expensive to build and premium to sell. But here is the thing to hold on to. You are tempted to buy the biggest building you can, to hold the most dogs. Capacity feels like the prize. It is not. That building is the easy part, and it is not where the money is won or lost. What you inherit. You inherit living, breathing inventory, and that changes everything. You are not storing boxes on a shelf. You are housing animals that can fight each other, get sick, panic, escape, or in the worst case die in your care. So the first thing you inherit is round-the-clock responsibility. Boarding means overnight, which means someone on site or on call every night, every holiday, every storm. Then you inherit staff, and lots of them. To keep dogs safe, you need people watching them, in the right ratio, all day. Those attendants are the biggest cost in the whole business, and here is the trap in a single sentence. Every extra dog you take needs more human hours to watch it. Labor never stops climbing. Then you inherit risk. If a big dog badly injures a small one, the medical bills and the lawsuit usually land on you. So you inherit heavy liability insurance, strict vaccination rules, and temperament screening, because one bad incident can end the whole thing. And you inherit two businesses under one roof: daycare, the steady weekday regulars, and boarding, the money that spikes on holidays and vacations and goes quiet in between. The revenue layers. A dog kennel has several income streams, and the smart owner runs all of them. Layer 1. Daycare. Dogs stay for the day and play, at roughly $15 to $25 a half day, and $25 to $50 for a full day. Sold as monthly packages to regulars, this is the steady, predictable heartbeat of the business. The same faces 2 to 5 days a week, all year. Layer 2. Boarding. Overnight stays at around $30 to $50 a night for a standard room, and $50 to $75 and up for a premium suite. This is the bigger ticket, and it spikes hard around the holidays when everyone travels at once. Layer 3. Grooming. A bath and a trim at $30 to $60, sold to dogs that are already on the property. It adds almost nothing to your fixed costs, and lifts what every customer spends. Layer 4. Training. Classes and private sessions at $50 to $100, and a certified trainer can charge 30 to 50% more. Skill becomes a premium. Layer 5. Retail and luxury. Food, toys, and supplies at the counter, plus premium tiers, climate-controlled suites and live webcams that let anxious owners pay more to watch their dog nap from a beach chair. Stack it together, and the pattern is clear. Daycare pays the bills. Boarding, grooming, training, and the luxury upsell are where the real profit hides. Listen to that again. Here is the part worth stopping on. Take two identical buildings, same size, same town. One holds 40 dogs and runs at 60% full. The other holds 25 dogs and runs at 90% full. The smaller, fuller one makes dramatically more money. Read that again. The smaller building wins. How? Because revenue is not about how big your kennel is. It is about how full it stays. At what price? With how few wasted staff hours. That empty 40% in the bigger building is not free. It still pays rent, still pays for minimum staffing, still pays the light bill, and the full part needs even more people to watch even more dogs. Listen to that again. You are not really selling kennel space. You are selling an occupancy rate. Owners who win are almost never the ones with the biggest facility. They are the ones who keep the building they already have as full as safely possible, at the best price, with the tightest staffing. That occupancy number is the one number from the start of this video. It is the difference between $50,000 and $500,000 out of the same four walls. The ledger. Turn the page to what leaves the account, and notice what dominates it. Payroll comes first, and it towers over everything. Kennel attendants, groomers, and trainers together often eat 40 to 50% of everything the business spends. And unlike almost any other property business, that cost rises with every dog you add, because dogs need people. Then the building, lease or mortgage, property taxes, and the utilities that never rest, heating, cooling, water, and the constant cleaning a room full of dogs demands. Then insurance, which is heavy here, because your inventory can bite, fight, and get hurt. Then food and supplies, which scale with every dog. Then licensing, vaccination compliance, cleaning supplies, marketing, and the booking software that runs the whole schedule. And notice the shape of it. In a storage unit, an empty room costs you almost nothing, and a full building barely needs staff. A kennel is the opposite. Empty space still bleeds money, and every full space demands another pair of human hands. There is no quiet scaling here. There is only filling what you have, carefully, at the right price. The trap. Here is the trap, and nearly every new owner walks straight into it. They fall in love with capacity. A 40-dog building sounds so much better than a 25-dog building. So they borrow more, build bigger, and open a facility far larger than they can keep full. Then reality arrives. That big building sits half empty. The empty half still costs rent and minimum staff, and the margins vanish. They chased size instead of occupancy, and size is a cost, not a cure. That is the first half of the trap. Now the second half, and it is the one that ends businesses overnight. The living inventory. This is a world of fur babies, where a dog is family. If one dog seriously hurts another on your watch, or a dog escapes, or a dog gets sick and dies in your care, you do not just face a lawsuit, you face a review. A single terrifying story spreads through a community of pet parents like fire, and bookings can collapse in a week, because no loving owner will gamble with their dog. Put it together. You cannot scale your way out with a bigger building, because labor rises with every dog, and you carry a tail risk that can erase your reputation in a single afternoon. Overbuild the box, or drop your guard on safety, and this business will turn on you fast. The history digression. To understand why this whole market exists, meet the woman who built it. Back in 1994, a Colorado couple, Heidi Kennel and her husband Bion, had two big shelter dogs they adored. When they needed to travel, they went looking for somewhere good to leave them, and they hated what they found. The old kennel model was cages on concrete, dogs locked up alone for most of the day. So the two of them sketched a different idea, a summer camp for dogs, full of play and attention. Then tragedy struck. Bion died in a plane crash that same year, and the dream was shelved. Read what she did next, because it created an industry. In the year 2000, using $83,000 left from her late husband's insurance, Kennel opened the first Camp Bow Wow in Denver. Her pitch was simple and it landed hard. When you go on vacation, your dog goes on vacation too, instead of going to jail. Demand was instant. By 2003, she began franchising, at a time when almost no dog daycare franchises existed anywhere. And here is the part that proves the whole point of this video. Camp Bow Wow grew to over 200 locations. and was bought by a $4 billion veterinary company. But Kennel did not get rich running one kennel and grinding through the payroll herself. She got rich selling the dream to hundreds of owners, each of whom still faces the exact labor trap we just walked through. The market exists because dogs became family. The money, for her, came from selling the map, not digging in the mine. So watch how a kennel dies, because it usually follows the same sad script. Someone opens a kennel because they love dogs. That love is the whole reason, and it is also the weakness. They treat it as a passion with a cash register, not a business. To feel successful, they build big, and then they cannot keep the big building full enough to cover its rent and its staff. Occupancy sits too low. But they cannot cut staff, because fewer people watching means unsafe dogs. They cannot raise prices much, because a cheaper kennel just opened down the road. So the margin stays razor thin, and every slow month between holidays drains the account a little more. Then the landmine goes off. 2 dogs get into a serious fight, or a dog slips out through a weak gate, or an illness sweeps the play floor. A frightened owner posts the story. It races through every local dog group, and the phone stops ringing. To save money, the owner cuts corners, safety slips further, and another incident follows. The building is still full of kennels. The dogs are gone. And a business built on trust closes the moment that trust breaks. The size never saved it. The empty rooms and the broken trust sank it. So, who survives? And how? Kennels that thrive did a few specific things right. 1. They chased occupancy, not size. They kept a building they could actually fill, watched their occupancy rate week by week, and treated an empty kennel as the enemy, not an excuse to build another one. 2. They built the daycare base. They locked in regulars on monthly packages, 2 to 5 days a week, so a steady river of predictable income covered the fixed costs, and the holiday boarding rush became pure gravy on top. 3. They stacked the high-margin extras, grooming, training, retail, and premium suites layered onto customers already on the property, lifting what every dog was worth, without adding much fixed cost. 4. They mastered the labor. Because payroll is the monster, they scheduled tightly, retained good staff so they were not forever training new ones, and guarded safety like their business depended on it, because it did. None of that is about having the biggest kennel in town. It is about occupancy, the daycare base, the upsells, and the payroll. So does owning a dog kennel work. Let us run it, and treat this as a model, not a real kennel. You open a right-sized facility, you protect your occupancy from day one, and you guard your safety record like gold. In a good year, your daycare regulars fill the weekdays on monthly plans. Boarding sells out every holiday. Grooming and training lift every ticket. And your staffing is tight enough that payroll does not swallow the profit. A full building, run carefully, throws off seriously strong money, and the pet-owning trend keeps the customers coming. That is the good year. Now the other side. You overbuilt, so your fancy big kennel runs half empty, and the empty half still bleeds rent and wages. A recession trims the vacations, so boarding softens right when you need it. And then one bad afternoon, one hurt dog and one viral post, and the bookings you did have evaporate. The building is just as big, the income is gone. Here is the real verdict. A dog kennel is 2 bets at once. One is a bet on demand, that people keep treating dogs like family and paying for their care. That bet looks strong. The other is a bet on discipline, that you can keep a right-sized building full, master a payroll that grows with every dog, and never let the trust break. Win both, and you own a warm, busy, seriously good business. Lose the discipline, chase size, or drop your guard on safety, and the thing you love will bleed you dry. So the honest answer is this. A dog kennel can absolutely make very good money, but almost none of it comes from owning a big building full of cages. It comes from keeping the right-sized building full, at the right price, with tight labor and spotless safety. Do that, and it is a real, rewarding business. Buy the biggest box you can, and hope the dogs fill it, and you have bought yourself an expensive, exhausting, and dangerous way to lose money. The thesis close. So look again at what you really bought. Not the puppies tumbling in the play yard, not the wagging tails at drop-off or the happy chaos at pickup, or the gratitude of a parent who trusts you with their family. That is the joy, and the joy is only the doorway. You bought a building full of living, breathing inventory that can never be stacked, stored, or scaled like anything else. Every animal in your care needs a human watching it, so you can never warehouse your way to wealth. You can only fill what you have, safely, at the best price you can hold, one dog and one careful day at a time. A dog kennel owner is not really selling cages, or rooms, or square footage. They are selling trust, one living animal at a time. And trust does not scale and does not forgive. An empty kennel still costs you. A full one still needs a human. Respect that. Keep it full and keep it safe. And the good days are very good. Forget it, and chase the size of the building instead of the safety of the dogs. And the animals you love will quietly take everything you have.